When I grow up, I want to be a president.
My life matters.
We always talk about white people killing black people, but we don't talk enough about black on black crime. We kill each other.
My life matters.
Kansas City is different.
Stuff can happen at a moment.
My life matters.
Say for instance, somebody made me mad, I do the first thing that comes to my mind.
My life matters.
We just go and just retaliate now, or just get revenge on anything.
My life matters.
I mean, we've got about 170 homicides already in the city this year.
My life matters.
I saw the news, and an 11-year-old girl was shot and killed, and that's all I saw.
Welcome to FreeShow Friday. Welcome my friends from everywhere. I am Gary, glad you're with me. Pull up a chair. We're gonna look at this free show, a tool to serve your church each day, to help you praise in every language, to lift his name in every place. You are welcome here, my family, from every nation, every land. We are one in Christ together, reaching out with open hands. If your heart is for his kingdom, come and join in what he's done. Welcome to FreeShow Friday. Let's lift high the Holy One. My dream is people empowered. Across the earth his glory shown. Every screen and every session, pointing weary hearts back home. Write your questions in the comments. Share this hope with someone new. We're building more than just a playlist. We're building lives in love and truth. You are welcome here, my family, from every nation, every land. We are one in Christ together, reaching out with open hands. If your heart is for his kingdom, come and join in what he's done. Welcome to FreeShow Friday. Let's lift high the Holy One. From the north and south, from the east and west, every tongue and tribe, let our Savior be confessed. If this blesses you, pass the blessing on, till the whole world sings of the risen Son. Oh yeah. You are welcome here, my family, from every nation, every land. We are one in Christ together, reaching out with open hands. If your heart is for his kingdom, come and join in what he's done. Welcome to FreeShow Friday. Glory to God's Son. God bless you, my brother, my sister, till we meet again this day. Welcome to FreeShow Friday. Jesus be our only way.
preaching minister at our church. One thing I don't want to spend any time thinking about, presentation software.
What I love about FreeShow is in many ways its ease of use.
Hey, I'm Jared Ellis from Fellowship Regional Church in Iola, Kansas.
My name is Paul Hugbart. I'm the lead pastor of Southside Christian Church in Fort Pierce, Florida.
In working with church apps, when FreeShow was brought onto the scene, it absolutely took over for us.
We're a church of roughly about 150 folks. I'm not super technologically advanced, but I'm able to put together displays that are visually engaging and look top-notch really every Sunday. Because of the versatility of FreeShow and really the strength of the program.
With FreeShow, we've been able to grab somebody, and because it's so incredibly user-friendly, we can teach them so quickly how to operate the program.
We had an issue with FreeShow that I was struggling to figure out.
So we sent an email, and immediately somebody gets back to us.
And I was actually able to get in touch with the creator of FreeShow directly.
I just need it to work. And that wasn't happening with the presentation software we were using before. So for us, yeah, FreeShow's incredible.
Would we continue using FreeShow if budget wasn't an issue? Yeah, absolutely we would.
If money was no object and it came down to whether or not we were going to use FreeShow or maybe try to use a more expensive program, there's no way in the world that we would go with something else.
What is good, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome to FreeShow Friday with Gary B. Jr. I'm your media consultant here to help answer any questions you have. This show is just a big Q&A session. So for those who are joining us, we got some folks on. Let me just give a shout out to everybody we got going on right now. Let's see here. We got Atisa John Mark on. Let's see here. We've got Atisa, you never told me where you joining us from. Remind me. I know you guys have told me this plenty of times. Like I said, there was somebody else on here that I was like, sounds like it's the first time I don't remember. So we got Lanny Richardson on. Lanny Richardson 4415 from Central Michigan. No, is that Michigan? No, MS is Minnesota, right? Help me out, you guys. Central Minnesota is my guess. Is that right? And then we've got, he said the weather's there pretty nice right now and about to rain later on. We need some of that here. So I'm praying for the rain to come here. We got Bobby Manning 264 joining from El Dorado, Arkansas. And I did not know, Bobby, forgive me for not recognizing. I don't remember El Dorado, Arkansas before. So I'm glad that this is not your first time. Even if it was, I would be glad it would be your first time too, though. So I'm just glad that you're joining us. Let's see here. Who else we got? Somebody asked me, Mississippi. Forgive me. Yeah, I am definitely not the big time geography person. I think, yeah, I'm not even going to talk about school, but school was good for the most part. I just wasn't that good at it in a lot of ways. Let's see here. Somebody asked me about AJ, the CEO. AJ, the CEO, is big time. He does a lot of the hardware installs. He's a guru when it comes to, he's written some books. I've read his books about media ministry and things like that. So I really enjoy what he does in terms of how he does it because it's totally different. And I got a lot to learn from him when it comes to that hardware side of things. And even the software, I know he uses ProPresenter. He sets up systems. He's got that IT background. He's a musician. And I am none of those things. So I love what AJ does. And like I said, I see him doing the installs all the time at the different churches and so forth. So yeah, I do know exactly who he is. I follow his channel all the time. Let's see here. We got, so Lanny says, between him and you, I've completely transformed my church media ministry. I've learned so much. That's what's up, Lanny. I'm excited for you. Lanny Richardson 4415. I'm excited for you, my friend. That is super, super encouraging because that's the goal. I'm sure that's AJ's heart to see you guys thrive and Thriving is very important for the body of Christ to understand that. When I say that, I don't mean that you spend the most money and have the biggest and best this or that. And I don't think that's AJ's heart as well. Like he's like very practical, wanting everybody to understand exactly what needs to be done, and not overextending yourself to do more than what you need, but also making sure you do the best and bring excellence. And so I think between what you just described, what he does, and what FreeShow offers, I think it's a slam dunk for what you're doing. So I'm excited for you, my friend. We got Jim Lawyer on. Welcome, my friend, from Dayton, Ohio. Let's see here. And Jim says he's got 161 beta 2 in the house. Yeah, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. This is about to get crazy serious. It's getting crazy serious. And I say that probably all the time, like it's getting serious. And it is. It's getting crazy serious. Lenny says, we always get overlooked. The Weather Channel called us the landmass between Alabama and Louisiana. I'm so sorry. Listen, Mississippi in his house. We are you guys are holding it down, man. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. I'm sorry for overlooking. I'm not gonna act like I know a lot about the South or anything like that. Like I said, I listen, much respect for the South. I'm interested in, we've driven through all that. We've driven through Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi to get to Texas, and that's about it for all of those. I've never visited any of those states before as a destination point. So I take that back. Louisiana, we went to Monroe, Louisiana to visit a church that followed me and invited me to come out. So that was a lot of fun. It was in Monroe, Louisiana. Very cool place. Claude Curran I call him Claude from Canada, is in the house. He says, good day, Gary. Gary, Claude from up north. Claude, that's hilarious. Claude from up north, like you from the North Pole or something. Claude, I know you don't look like Santa Claus in your image there, so I'm not gonna act like you from the North Pole, but that's hilarious. I love it. I love it. Mr. Terry Ray in the house. Welcome. He says, hi all. And Mr. Terry Ray, I think you're in Georgia, right? Representing Atlanta. We got a way to do a connect or something like that. I had to figure out coordinating some stuff and seeing what we can do to get some stuff figured out. Let's see. Coffee is on me if you ever in Central Mississippi. I appreciate that. Listen, I'll probably just do a slushie or something like that. The funny thing, you guys, I don't drink coffee. I've never drank coffee before. So I never drank it. My dad used to drink it all the time. And I never drank it because I wake up, my dad would always say, you got one gear, it's on. So when I wake up, I'm on. When I go to sleep, I'm off. And so I just go to sleep, and that's about it. But I'm usually always like this and happy. I just got done running a couple miles, so I may be a little gassed right now, but yeah, I'm excited. Mr. Terry Ray said, yeah, we got to get together for sure. So we got a lot to talk about, you guys. Let me get a sip real quick. Like I said, I just got done running a little bit. When I say running, I'm not a professional. I just ran in the house on a treadmill, right? So I'm gonna say I worked out. Let me put it that way. I worked out. All right. And so this is fun. So make sure to post any questions. This is always fun to catch up and see how everybody's doing. I made a note at the very beginning. I want you to go back and look at that note. If things are a little clunky today, and there've been some clunkiness throughout. I mean, it's not like my streams are ever perfect, but I love doing it. Love connecting with you guys more than anything. I love training and help people understand new things. So if there's questions, make sure to post them. But I'm using my Rodecaster video that I purchased, I don't know how many, maybe a couple of weeks ago now. Just getting used to it and trying to see how it is. It is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because it only does, it has limitations. I'll say that. I'm not going to do any caveats with it or anything like that. Let's just get into this and talk about what is going on. So let's jump into some latest videos. I say latest, it's only one so far, but we had the full iPad control video come out this past week. Make sure to check it out if you have not. There's been a lot of updates to that particular setup since I last made a video about the iPad. And so it was really encouraging to look at that and play around with the settings there. It is robust. And I was not using the app. I just literally just went to my connections menu in FreeShow. If you go to FreeShow and you select the settings up in the upper right, and you go to connection, you'll see the option for stage show, control show. So if you go to control show, actually I went to remote show for that video. We were in remote show, just controlling everything. And it basically gives you not necessarily layout of the settings. I didn't even try settings, but it gives you this layout in your on your iPad. And so you got a lot of flexibility, and it's really super, super cool. So make sure to check that out if you have not yet, and just get the idea of the flexibility. And I know some of you guys are saying, I don't have an iPad or a tablet or anything like that. I would still say check it out, because I'm working with a church right now. They put a proposal together for some upgrades in their equipment. They just sent me a text this morning saying, hey, the pastor just approved all the upgrades that they want to do in terms of a new computer, a new camera, and a couple other things that they needed to do. They've already upgraded their space to where they expanded the space a little bit. So I'm super excited for them with that. But I say all that to say that the videos I make are not designed just for you right now in your current setup. I want you guys to start envisioning certain things that you can't do maybe right now, or that are not feasible. But understanding software and hardware, to me, are key in improvement and understanding. And so for me, one thing about me that's hilarious, my wife will tell you this, is like, if there's ever anything that we want to do new, I always ask her, and I ask God, I ask myself, I'm like, okay, well, what does it take to do that? What does it take to accomplish that, right? So you might have a great idea. What does it take to accomplish that is the first step, for me at least. And then I make a list of all those things that I think it takes, and I just pursue it, right? And then I say, okay, what does it take compared to what do I have? And what I have, how far can I get with that? And then I go from there, and then I'll add as much as I can along the way as needed. And so that's how I look at this. When there's a new video out, when we talk about the iPad, and I don't have one, or a tablet, I don't have one, but it may fit better in your vision than you know if you check it out. So check out the video, get an idea of what it can do. You might say, you know what, that's going to be really helpful, because it allows me to sit with my family more often, or allows my volunteers to sit with their family, and they can still control the show if somebody's got to be in the front or play the drums or go to the restroom, whatever it may be. So I want you guys to be thinking in that way. This is hilarious. I got the double Gary going on. So, but I want you guys to be thinking in that way as we go forward with these different videos and so forth and so on. So let's go back into this. So the iPad video is out, and wait, there's more. And so in FreeShow, if you've not been to freeshow.app lately, just in this past week, if I go over to downloads in the upper right here, and I select the option that says see all releases, you'll see right below it says, hey, there's some a beta 2 available for 161. I think this is what Jim Lawyer was talking about. And in here, we've got some text edit context options. We're going to jump into all this stuff together, but I want you guys to look at this and understand that there are a lot of cool things. Now, this came out just 2 days ago. And then 2 weeks ago, we talked about the control OBS from FreeShow stuff as well, right? At that time, there was not anything that you could do in Actions, but check this out. Actions for controlling OBS Studio and Actions for controlling Spotify. And that's something that's super exciting as well. We got change DNS servers on a Mac, and I don't even know how to do that. I think that happens behind the scenes, but I don't know. I think he made some tweaks to it to do that. So Christopher's been working really hard. Let's see here. Output style should use any custom first slide template now. Really cool. Drop slides on preview to set a specific output. Drop slides on a preview or on preview to set a specific output. I don't have a clue what that means. On preview. Oh. I think I got an idea. That's interesting. That's very interesting. And then improved auto slide groups. Okay. Very cool. Very, very cool. Let me see here. I had a message here. What do you guys think about these updates so far in terms of what you see so far? Like, are any of those things going to be valuable for what you do currently? Let me see here. There was update last week. We talked about the video soft loop, and Christopher responded back and said the video soft loop should work in the actual output window, but it does not work in the previews for the time being. And so that soft loop option works in the actual output window. which is really cool. Okay, but it does not work in the previews for the time being. So I'll retest that and we'll do a preview of that. And I'll try to set up a side by side or something. We have to figure that out. I don't think that'll be too hard. Yeah, we'll check it out because I do have an output assigned, I believe now, and I just may have to do some setup. And I might show you guys some behind the scenes on how I'm gonna do all that because it's fun. It's fun. All right. So let me check the comments here. Any questions coming up so far? ATL, got to get together. Nothing yet. What are some questions you guys are having? Right. I'll tell you guys some things that I've come across. Let's pull up. Let me pull up some behind the scenes real quick. Hold on. Let me pull this up in a way that makes sense. And let us see what we got. Because we did have some good questions on YouTube over the past week. And I think even just a couple days ago. So I'm going to pull up the community channel or the community chat or whatever. I don't know what it's called. The questions, they come up in the community section of my on YouTube. So let's see here. Okay. I'll turn off unresponded. Okay, so let's pull this back up and you will see this is a comment. Let's see, I'm going 3 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days, 6 days, 6 days. Okay, so we'll go to these. Okay, here's go. I think I got the Spotify controller to work in FreeShow, and I said, nice. Where'd you go to set it up? And this was in response to FreeShow Friday last week. And last week I didn't know how to get it to show up. When I went live on In the Lab on that Monday, I figured it out. I think Christopher let me know as well that all you have to do is open up Spotify. It's that simple. So if I do a search here for Spotify, you need to have the Spotify app on your computer, and I select that. I'll double click it, and now it's open. And so if I go to, and let me try to turn this down. Look, I got to turn this down so it don't show up here. So let me turn that down there. So I'm going to let this select, but it's not going to play. So I'm going to select, let's see, that's Blessings by Lecrae. And so if I go into the right screen, all right. So yeah, I'm just making sure you guys can hear. Okay. So if I go back into here, you'll see in FreeShow, I now have control over this and I can actually make it fade out. I can make it fade out and it just stops playing. I can also play it again and it'll start to play. I can pause it. I can go back. I can go forward. And it goes to a commercial. I'll just fade that out. And so that controller or that Spotify piece automatically comes up when you open up the Spotify app on your device. Okay. So really cool. Really cool. All right. A Spotify app on your computer, which is really cool. And then FreeShow reads it automatically. Let's see here. Atisa John Mark says, Gary, I have the challenge with my media when I set them as backgrounds for my primary output. Some are clear and others are not. I don't know. For those from Canva, they are out of focus and some that I had downloaded. What can I do to resolve that problem? Because I can see yours are clear, right? And so that's a great question. My answer to them is that if you're using Canva, using the Canva section in FreeShow, I noticed that the images are not full quality. I recommend still downloading them directly from the Canva website. And then Atisa says, hey, true, when you see them as backgrounds. That's something that's important to understand right now. And I talked to Christopher about that a while back when I noticed it as well, because it was the same thing as well for me, is that it just was a little, I think it was probably like at 720 as opposed to 1920 by 1080. And so it was at it was 1280 by 720, I think is what it is, something like that. And so those are just going to be a lower resolution based on the connection that it has. I'm not a coder or anything like that, so I can't speak to why it's like that, but that's what the feedback was that I got. So keep that in mind. The Canva integration to me is still something that's in the works to be developed fully. And I say to be developed fully in the sense that it doesn't support video and it doesn't support full resolution files last I saw or last I heard. And it sounds like that's still the case. And so keep that in mind as you do it. It is there. It's a really cool option. And I think it serves a really cool purpose because it does streamline the workflow where you don't have to do so much of going here, doing this, dragging that, downloading this, and then coming into here and then, pointing it to that folder. But if you do have your workflow set up already where you do download from Canva and you put it into the folder that you want, and you've already got that folder in FreeShow, already pointed to it in your media, then it's kind of a set thing, and it's kind of a set and forget, right? Just set that folder up by hitting add folder here, point to where you're going to drag those downloads to, and just put them in the same place. Maybe it's all flyers that you have, and they're in your pictures folder on your computer. You can just put it in that folders, in that flyers folder in there, and your pictures folder in FreeShow under media will read where that flyers folder is, and you can always go into it. Really, really simple and easy, right? So I can go into my Bible project videos here and I can see all the folders inside of them. And so I would say just make sure your strategy and your system that you have set up makes sense for you. All right. Let's go back here. Hey, I'm on version 1.6 and I can't find the audio settings like pre-fader or gain. This is Genuine Martin Barrett. And it says, have they been removed in later versions? And this is in relation to an older video that I made about audio tabs, right? And in that video, I don't even remember what version of FreeShow I was using, but it was an older version of FreeShow, and it had a pre-fader and a gaining option of some sort. I went back and looked at it, and I was like, oh yeah, I do remember this. But the answer is that they have been drastically updated. Excuse me. The things in FreeShow have been drastically updated, and the far right audio tab still gives you the gain option with the horizontal slider, but no pre-fade option. But the pre-fade is moved to like the playlist settings. So if I go here, and this is the Gary version of it, let me put it that way. So if I go into my audio settings here, and you'll see your gain here, and you can select that here. You can mute it if you want to. And then if I go down to this little icon, the little more options icon at the bottom, I can select that, and let me clear my big head out the way. You'll see that you have options now to mute when video plays, which is cool. Audio fade duration for the entire output, and then your audio output location. So I'm sending my stuff directly to my Rodecaster video, and then audio channels here. You can set that as well. But in this playlist, I've got that same more options setting here. And here I can actually adjust the volume before it ever gets to the main. Okay. And that's what I would call like your pre-fader set up there. And that's for any playlist that you got. So if I got my lab intro playlist, I can do the same thing. Okay. And I can turn that back off, and I'm in my lab intro deal. But you can set each playlist to have a certain volume. Okay. Which is really cool. So yeah, audio options have changed. I have not added in, I haven't taken any old videos down. So that's what that person, they ran into, Genuine Martin Barrett ran into an older video, okay? And then this was from FreeShow Friday. Gordon Benny 285 says, we use OBS for recording and live streaming. That is what's up. We were talking about what you guys currently use and how you do it for your live stream. And he responded back to that video after watching it and said they use it for their live streaming and for their recording, which is really cool. Okay. Really, really cool. I'm just checking here, make sure I don't miss any comments. So make sure to give me any comments or questions that you guys have as we do this. Let's look here. Set up and manage lower thirds with OBS. So someone said, this is Living Faith Ibaloa says, hello, thank you, I'm guessing, for sharing all of these. I wish I knew how to display one scripture in two languages at the same time. Thanks. So one scripture in two languages at the same time. And I just said, hi friend, this video should help answer your question. And that was a question that was literally asked before. So I'm gonna just highlight that particular link and I'll show you guys what that answer would look like. And it'll probably play an ad. Let me pull that out the way.
But he literally uses Excel.
So skip that. All right, so one of the things, and in this video, it's display multiple Bible versions at once in FreeShow. And so what that means is multiple Bible versions can be multiple different versions of the Bible in terms of the New Living versus the NIV, but it also can be the Brazilian Bible or the Portuguese Bible and the NIV English, or an African Bible and a French Bible, whatever Bibles that you can find in that drop down for the updated look. Let me go back to the updated version of what FreeShow looks like now for scriptures. You'll see here, any of these Bibles that you have, you can make a collection of them. So you get this option here that says new collection, and you can just check off any Bibles you want. So now you can actually blend local Bibles that I have up here and your API Bibles that are online. So I can connect the Brazilian Bible with the Message Bible. And let me see, I may have done that. Let's see here. That's NASB. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll say create. And here it is right here. And when I go to this now, I will select this verse here and I will see both. So two different languages of the same scripture. All right. And that's something that's really cool. And that video supports that to show you a little bit about it. But this is just an updated version of how to do it in FreeShow today, is that you would ultimately just create a new collection and then pick the Bibles you want and then just select the verses you want. And it'll automatically adjust to give you the two Bible or two text box layout. Okay. Which is really cool. Really, really cool. Let's see here. What else we got in terms of questions? Let me go back to the community. And that was from Living Faith Ibaloa. And then here we got Narcissi J3D says, hello, brother. Can I have the video, please? And they were asking about, and I just said, has anyone tested the Spotify integration built into FreeShow? And then I put in simply run. I don't even know what that says. Simply run I think just run the Spotify program. And I just said, I shared about Spotify in my live stream today. And this was back on Monday. And I just talked about how easy it is, which is really cool. Just share with you guys the same thing. So definitely check it out. It is really cool. And then we got Dayrasimi Adapitan says, thank you for the video. There's one issue I have using FreeShow. Whenever I connect to my projector, it gives me a 16:9 aspect ratio for my presentation instead of the full display of 4:3. I've tried changing the output settings, but still the same. How can I solve this issue? And I just said, hi, friend, I would make sure to adjust the style you are using to match the output ratio you want. And so what we'll do is, let's see here. I don't know this is at 35 minutes in. Oh, I think it's more like 40 minutes in. I can't tell what the time frame is, but I'm gonna send them a reply. We'll talk about how to do that. So the issue was their screens kept showing 16:9, but their projector is 4:3. Okay, and so the way that you would adjust that is you would go into settings and then you would make an output, right? So we'll make an output, and I'm gonna make my loop output be here, and I'm gonna turn it on. And I don't even have. I'm gonna make it be an invisible window for now, and that means it's not going to go to an actual output, but I'm going to go to a style here. I'm going to make a new style. I'm going to hit this plus sign. I'm going to say it's a normal style. And I'm going to change the aspect ratio of this style to be 4:3. Okay. So now I got this style set to 4:3. That's done. Really good. Now I'm going to go in and let me call it it's called default 2 here, but I'm going to rename it to be 4:3. I'm going to say test. And there it is there. And I'm going to go back into outputs. So now I have to assign that style to this loop output. So I'm going to go to styles and I'm going to pick 4:3 test. And notice that it's taller than these others that are wider. So when I select that, now it changed that output to be 4:3, even though this is still 16:9. So this one here, when I select it, it's 16:9. Right? So let's go to a scripture. Let's see what it does. And I'll show you guys an idea of what we're talking about here. So now this one is 4:3 with an invisible background. All right. And so I can make that background be a different color by going up to my settings as well. Let me go to styles again. I'm gonna make it to where you guys can see that dynamic. We'll make this be like a dark blue. So I'll go back to show and let's go to another verse. Oh, I got to turn out the invisible. Sorry. Let me go back to edit here and let's turn off transparent. And so now you'll see that it's a taller 4:3 aspect ratio because the style determines that. All right. I got the style set to determine that in the sense that this output window says 1920 by something. It says that, but it doesn't matter because the style dictates what that output is going to do. All right. And so this person was trying to change it here, but the style was still set to 16:9. So this one says 4:3, but if I go to my A Play Live or my default or these all say aspect ratio of 16:9. So they're saying, hey, for that output, it's going to be 16:9. It's automatically determining it. Okay. What we have to do is change that style. So I got a 4:3 here. They can adjust that and it'll automatically change. And so this computer from my primary output is going to look like that. And then this projector is going to look like that, where it's going to be taller. Okay. And that frame this is the line right here for it. Okay. Really cool stuff. Really great question too. I think that's some of the things that as we start using this program more, that we're going to start running into is we're going to have these different layouts and setups. So let me reply again and say, and this is, no, I don't think I have to say anything to them with their name, but I'm going to say, I just reviewed how to do this in FreeShow Friday at about the 40-minute mark. Have you guys run into this before? Let me know in the chat. Has anybody run into something like that before where it was giving you just some challenges with your outputs, right? That's what I would say. I would just call that a simple challenge with the outputs. Let me know. And then someone said, thanks for this tutorial. Toshiba Gates talked about the Cloud Sync video. Said, thanks for that one. We got some more questions about Cloud Sync. I can't wait. And then SBU Media, our friend jumped in and said, thanks, excellent feature. I love it with the full iPad control. That was the latest video a few days back that came out. And then this is Trey B. Armand, right? Traby Armand. I like the name. That's cool. 3082 says, hello, Gary. God bless you for all. Please, how do you do to animate text in presentation lyric songs in FreeShow? Please help. And this is in response to not necessarily a video, but a post that I made asking about has anyone used the Spotify thing, right? And so my answer was nuanced. So I said, hey, what kind of animation are you trying to do? That's kind of a big deal because I know people and their idea of what animation is going to vary drastically. And I'm not a big fan of any animations, to be honest with you, but I understand that they can be very cool to some, and some setups it's really useful and helpful. For me, the biggest challenge when it comes to animation is to make sure that it's not distracting, right? Make sure that it's not distracting is a big deal to me. As anytime I do anything in terms of media, my thought is to make sure that we're not distracting from the message, because as a media person, as a media volunteer, leader, whatever it is, you're literally in the middle of the sharer of the message and the receiver of the message. The media is in the middle, the medium, right? They're in the middle, and that's what we do. And so we don't want to be a distraction or mess up we don't want to mistranslate what's going on, okay? And so that's what I would say. That's my caveat. Now, my answer to them was I recommend transitions by going to the edit page on your slide or template and then right-click on the text box and select transitions. So going to the edit page on your slide or template and then right-click and then click your text box and select transitions. Now, I'm saying that to say, ultimately, a lot of people consider transitions to be their animation. So I'm gonna act like that was what they meant, right? So I'll go to this particular slide here, okay? And it's on a timer, so I'm gonna pause the timer so to sit there. But if I go into edit, I can right-click on this text box and I get an option that says transition. And it has an in, an out, and a between. If I hit this little option up here for more options, it gives you some more information down here at the bottom. But since everything is set to none, nothing shows up. So I can make this slide in, okay, from left to right, okay? The whole text box is just gonna slide in from left to right. It's set to flow in. I can change that to bounce in, let's say, okay? And so I've got that set up. Now, and this is just the text box. I don't have it set to any out. Okay. So I'm not going to do any transitions out. So I'm going to go here and let's do this here. All right. And then it's going to go on to the next show. Let's see what it does. It didn't do much there. Let me see what it looks like over here. Let's see. Let me go to my left screen. You guys can see that a little bit better. I want to see what it does when we get to, let's skip up. Let's see what it does now, if anything. This is the main output we're looking at now. It didn't do much, so I didn't see it do any transition in. Let's clear that out, and let's go back to the right screen. And let's see. So if I go here, I needed to refresh. And it just did it. All right, so let's go back. So here's what it would do. All right, so it's going perfectly fine. It didn't animate in. That's interesting. It just did it a second ago. Maybe, let me stop that. Let's pull this over here real quick. I just saw it do it. Let me do it as an in-between. I think that's the challenge. Let me go back to transition. I'm going to put into none, and we'll say between. I think that's what it is. We'll go to slide here. We'll say left to right. Duration, we'll do bounce and close that. And let's see what that does. If we select that there, it shows up, and I'll go to this screen so you guys can see a little bit easier. This is the full output. I'm expecting it to do a slide in. There we go. So the between is a big deal. And so in FreeShow, if it's not a first slide, okay, if it's not the first slide, you want to be mindful to make sure that it is not going to be the end. That makes sense. If it's not the first slide, it's not an end. It's only going to do it there. But if it's in the middle of the show, if it's a slide in there, it's going to be a between, is what I understand. If I understand that right, and you guys can correct me on that if you guys have used it. But that between option is the secret sauce for those transitions, the way that most people look at it. All right, let's see here. Good morning, Gary. This is Stephen Wood, P4H. I had the pleasure of taking a class with you a few weeks back in Kentucky. Stephen Wood in the house from Kentucky, getting ready to start digging through your content and learn FreeShow. Thank you a lot. My man, Stephen Wood, I'm glad you got to join us in Kentucky. Larry was there, Larry Sweeting, and we got to have a really good time. I was just looking at the video replay of that training we had. We had a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it, my friend, and thanks for joining us. Make sure to ask any questions in this conversation. You got a lot of people in this community that can give you some good answers, myself included, but also quite a bit of others that have a lot of other experience with this program that I don't. And so we like to work together. So if that's something that's important to you, make sure to subscribe and keep up with it, because there's a lot that goes on in this community. It's not just me making the videos, but it's the conversations we have in our live streams and even on the actual videos like we do here. I'll go through and look at all the video comments and things like that. Mr. Terry says, what's the best way to use media on a local folder or playing from Google Drive? I would definitely say combine it. I would say yes. And the best way is yes to those. Because with Google Drive, you can make it to where you download it to your computer. And that's what I would do. If you download and install Google Drive for desktop, that's number one. You got to do that. And then make that folder be available offline is what I would say to do. Make sure that folder is available offline, and then FreeShow can see it pretty easily from this setup that you have here. You'll be able to let FreeShow see it in the media without a problem. And I would do that. And now the reason that that's beneficial is because now all of your, let's say all, now your media is on a shared drive. So if you ever need to do cloud sync, it makes it that much easier. Okay. So if your files are already on your cloud, on a cloud sync drive, I say cloud sync. If your files are already on a online drive, it makes Cloud Sync that much easier to sync your media for FreeShow. Okay, so that's what I would say for sure. I love the idea. I love that question. That's a great question, Mr. Terry Ray. Is that using media? I would say the best way is to do it natively, but at the same time, using Google Drive is going to be an excellent way because it sets you up for some future integration. So do it with both, to where you download or make your files on Google Drive available offline when you do that Google Drive for desktop install. Okay. Let me know, is anybody else using like Dropbox or Google Drive or SharePoint or OneDrive, I think is what it is, right? Any of those particular options that they're sharing, they're using a share file or folder for their media, because in doing so, you should be able to make it offline and make it available all the time. Claude Coran says, last week I start FreeShow with the television off. The stage output came over my laptop screen. Yes, over the FreeShow. Could not stop the output. How can I stop the output with a key or other way? That's a great question, Claude. And so for me, when that happens, all you do, you just right click on the screen. And so if I go here to my left screen, this is a FreeShow screen, but I've blacked it out. If you right click on it, oh no, this is not it. So if you right click on a FreeShow output, that's my OBS output over there. So let's go here. I'm gonna make this be output over there to that screen. And I'll go to edit, excuse me. Right now, let's do a review. 1 and 3. Let me see what this one is. This one should be 2. Yep, so 2 is over there. So I'm gonna select 2 and it brings it over here. And so now I got this blank screen over the top, and I'll show you guys, this really is my FreeShow. So if I turn this on, you'll see that's the slide, right? So I'm gonna pause it. If it's over here and I don't want it on my screen, I can just simply right click anywhere. Okay, right click anywhere on that screen, just move your mouse to it and then just hit close and it'll go away. Okay, that's what I would do. Right click on it and then you can get rid of it. And then you can reassign. So then I would go back over here and I would assign that particular output to the screen that it should go to once you turn on your television, right? So then you go into your output settings. I'm on my primary, 1920 by 1080, and you can pick which one of these you want to go to. For me, let's see, what's my number 4? I think number 4 is this TV behind me, maybe? I don't know. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think 4 is back here, and I don't even have it on. So let's turn that on real quick because it's the same thing. Oh, it's like, I don't know where my remote is for it. Here we go. Let's double check and make sure that this screen behind me is 4. All right. Let's see. So we'll hit this again. And yep, it's 4. So now I can select this and now it shows up back there. Okay, from the outputs. Now this screen does not need to be over there. It actually needs to be in a different place, but that's okay. I'll fix that another time. It needs to be over on, oh, let me see. I would actually select number 4, which is what I did. And then it automatically sent that signal out behind me. You guys saw it go behind me, but this screen actually needs to be over on this side because it's on this side of me. It's always off, kind of like what you ran into, Claude. So right click is going to be your best friend when you can get your mouse to that screen. Okay. So just put your mouse in the window where it is, and it should be able to let you right click and delete it, or not delete, but close it. Okay. Let's see here. Bobby Manning, can you help me with NDI? I have an iPhone 13. iPhone 13's in the house. I got an iPhone 13 mini. So I'm your brother from another mother, my friend. Let's see. So Bobby Manning says that I'm trying to connect to FreeShow through NDI. I have downloaded it on the phone and computer, but it is not showing up. I have both on the same network. Let's see here. So Bobby, tell me, what are you trying to do with the phone with NDI? Because with NDI, it's designed to do a couple of things. Okay. So the first thing I think about when you say you're trying to use your iPhone for NDI, my first thought is to use it as a camera. So I would go here to cameras and turn it on. Now I've got my iPhone here, but that's through continuity with this showing the back of my desk. There's my hand right there. And then this is my webcam here. And then NDI virtual camera. But on your iPhone, let me see here. On your iPhone, you can go into a program or get a program called NDI HX, I think it's called. NDI HX. And there's some other ones. I think there's another one called Vixio. And let's see here. And with Vixio, I think I think I tried it out. I've never used it before, but somebody told me about it, I think. But I'm gonna just do NDI HX, and that's like a camera app, okay? And I don't know how much it is. I think it's NDI HX camera. I know on Android it's not free. On Apple, I don't remember if it's free or not. And so now if I say stream, we're gonna see that if I come out of this, come back out and go back to screen, to cameras, I mean, let me see. There's my iPhone there, but that's not in there. So if I go to screens and I select NDI, we're going to see my HX camera as one of those screens. There it is, iPhone HX camera. And if it's just sitting still, it should be fine, but I don't like that as much. Using it as a camera, you can see it's kind of choppy. At least it's choppy to me. Let me put it that way. I don't like how choppy it is. I would just say for that type of setup, ooh, yeah. Tell me what you're trying to use your iPhone 13 for. That would be my question. But I see here he says I'm trying to connect to FreeShow through NDI, and I've downloaded it on the phone. Okay, so if you're trying to connect to FreeShow, let's say you're just trying to connect to FreeShow and just use it to control. If you're just trying to control your phone or control FreeShow from your phone, with that, you would just go into your settings. Okay, go to your settings. I'm gonna put my phone down here. You just go up to your settings in the program in the upper right, and then just go over to connection. And in here, you can select if you want to do a remote show, and that allows you to connect, but it's not through NDI. This is going to be a connection over your Wi-Fi network. And if I go here, I'm going to turn on my, unlock my camera real quick. And I'm going to take a screenshot of that. So I'm going to go into my camera app, get that QR code, and hit open in Chrome. And what ends up happening is it says, okay, you got to put in this password. So I'm going to put in that passcode 8208. And I'll hit submit. And now what I have is something like this on my phone. So now I can see the slide. So this is the current slide running, which is behind me back here, right? So you guys can see that screen. Where's that? Back there. That's funny. It's back there. And that's on my phone. I can select this next one and it automatically changes. Okay. And so that would be the first step if you're trying to use your phone to control FreeShow. Okay. You don't need NDI for that. You would just need it to connect on the settings and just turn on the QR code. Now, let's say I want to go to a scripture. This is kind of like the iPad demonstration I did earlier. I can go in and I can say clear all, and I can make that screen go black. I can go into my Bible app here, and I can go to the Amplified Bible, and I can look up certain scriptures, or any scripture I want to, I should say. I've been reading I'm in 2 Samuel now. Let's go to, I don't even know what's in 3:3, but let's see here. I'm not that far yet. I didn't get to Absalom yet. So I think I'm in 1 Samuel still. Let me see. Okay. So this is, oh, I'm still in, I need to go back to 1 Samuel. Voila. And so I can control all that from my phone. And so if you're just trying to control FreeShow from your phone, then you just need to go to your connection settings. Go up there to your connection window in the settings, and it'll pop up for your phone to just take that QR code and just turn on remote show. And that'll give you that full control. And it's a lot smoother than it used to be too, just like the iPad was. And like I said, that may be another video. I just got to figure out how to record it really easily. My iPhone used to really be horrible with this, with the the integration and the fluidity of it to where it wasn't that fluid, to where I couldn't even see all the slides like this before, which I love. And then I can go here. Let's see here. This is really sweet. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Who's used the remote functionality of FreeShow, or who uses it, I should say. And I'm sorry I keep having the two Garys on there. That's something I can't figure. I can't remember to keep getting rid of them, and they don't have the integration yet for me to make it go away real easily out the gate. So I'll figure that out. That'll be something that'll go away in the future. Let's see here. Stephen Wood says, fantastic. Thank you. Mr. Terry Ray says, I sync with Google Drive, so I'll try making the media available offline. Yes, yes, yes. Try making the media available offline and then point in your media folder to it by going down to the bottom and say add folder. And then you just point. So you got to have Google Drive for desktop and you'll be able to see it there. Now that's going to do two things, right? So if you're doing the sync, if you're doing the cloud sync, you're using that Google Drive for that. That's fine. It's going to pull double duty. Doesn't take any toll or anything extra. It's just going to do two full things. So in your files sync options, you're going to have that option to have that media sync folder. That's just going to make that content be there easier, and it's not going to be it shouldn't cause any problems or any issues or anything like that, which is really cool. But then it's also going to be inside of each of your FreeShow computers already as a media source. That's gold. Like that's the fail safe there to where it's always going to be available for you, which is really cool. Labada Geek 1 says, hello there. Have you any luck getting FreeShow into Switcher Studio as a transparent lower thirds for lyrics and Bible verses? Hey, welcome, Labada. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know. I think I've not seen your name, so you may have watched and seen this before, but I've not seen you before. So you talked about Switcher Studio. Let me do a search on my channel because I know I did a video about exactly that question. So I'm going to do a search here, and I'm going to just point you to this. So I'm going to say Switcher and how to use Switcher Studio. This is going to walk you through, and it's with FreeShow for lower third. So exactly what your question is. We made this about a year ago. I will share this with you, my friend. Let me see. I think. Nope. It won't let me paste it in here, but let me try pasting it on here at Labada. Boom. All right. Yeah, that's going to be a question or answer for you, my friend, to where you should be able to get that cleared up. And then let's see here. Traby. Oh yeah, Traby Armand 3082. Good evening, Gary. Welcome, my friend. Tell me where you're joining us from. Thank you for answering my question. I should mention that I asked my question because in earlier versions, before 1.6.0, it was possible to animate text. And so Traby Armand, did you use that? That's something that's really cool. I didn't like the animate, but you can do that. Let me see the animate text. Let me put it that way. So in here, you can right click, and it used to be an option. I think I know what you're talking about. Let's see, format. It used to be an animate a slide. I remember that, if that's what you're talking about. But I think that got gone because the updated way to do it is to go into your settings for your show and go into it and actually select it and then go to here and do timeline. And if you turn on the timeline now, you got some really cool features. So you can change with these little, what's this called? Oh, what are these little diamonds called? Somebody help me out. I forgot what they're called. But these diamonds are basically markers. Oh, come on. They're not key presses. I forgot what they're called. But they represent markers that you can save in your timeline to animate however you want to at a certain period of time, and you can even make it loop. So that's the new animation. The old animation was quite cumbersome, so I don't recommend that ever. That's why I was like, I don't like the animation thing. But that between transition is kind of the key, because this basically now when I'm playing this show, it's animating. Let me see. Let me go back to it. When I play this show now, it animates in and it animates out because it's between. So it's always going, it's bouncing in, and then you're gonna notice it bounced out. Right, it bounces out. So I like that way more than any of those older animate options. So I'll say older. The new animate option is really cool if you're willing to put in the work to create it. Okay, if you're willing to put in the work to create it, it's really cool. and you got the time to do it. Oh, what are those? I forget what those things are. Keyframes. That's what it's called. Not key press, but keyframes is what you'll see in that option there. So in the edit, anywhere you see this little keyframe, that's something that'll automatically populate. So I can select that, and you notice it automatically put it in my timeline for that deal, and I can delete those keyframes, and it'll automatically animate to that size or whatever it is that you selected. And it's still in beta in terms of getting fleshed out. The toggle timeline under settings gives you the option to animate individual items on your slide thoroughly, like super seriously. And the other thing is to just do a transition by right clicking. And when you do the transition, let me see, transitions here, right click, and then do the between transition. That would be the one that I think most people are going to find the closest to animation. And when you do that, it'll make this come in with that and go out with that between the slides that it's in. Okay. And so that would be my best solution for that. And Trevi Armand says, another question, how do I use layers during a presentation in FreeShow? How do I use layers? Trevi Armand, let me know, where do you see layers at? Where do you see the layers at? Because I don't see any layers in FreeShow. Well, I take that back. In FreeShow on the edit page, and I just want to know what you mean when you say layers. Let me put it that way. Under items here on the right, under the edit, you'll see the layers, the range items is what I would say. When you say layers, that's what I think about, is that they're just stacked up. And so I've got some media that says media systems, and it's a QR code. And then I got a text box that says Gary B. Jr. media systems here. So those two things are layered together here in terms of one is on top of the other, but they're not even overlapping too much. But since they are on, this one's on top, I can pull it on top and you'll see it show on top of that. If I drag this or move this layer down, you'll see now it's behind there. That's what I think about when you say layers. So let me know what you mean when you say layers, and I'll gladly kind of give some feedback to that. Oh, layouts. Oh, the layouts. Oh, perfect. I'm glad you clarified that. So let's go back to show and let's do a song. We'll talk about this. So this is going to be really useful for songs. That's why I say that. So it's really useful for songs. And I guess it's useful for anything else. Yeah, it would be useful for anything. I could do it in here if I wanted to. Let's do a new layout here. So I'll say new layout. I'm going to say long version. And in this long version, I'm going to add some stuff. Let's see. Let's do media. And let's go to downloads, and I'll add in separate languages. I'm gonna put that in here. Boom. If I go to default, separate languages is not there, but in the long version, separate languages is there. And so now if I go there and go to, let me clear this out. Now it shows up because I had it set to loop. Now it's going to go to that 2 separate languages, right? This version of the show is still under the same show called Begin Shortly, okay? But it's a different layout than the default layout. And so I can play either one of those layouts, okay? I got a long version layout and I got a default version. That's basically what it is. So for songs, this could really be helpful if you have different types of worship leaders or choir directors, or I don't know, whatever it may be. I think I call them worship leaders in the churches in the background I have. We usually had like a praise team. There was a praise leader, but we would rotate the praise leaders sometimes. So there might be one praise leader that liked to sing a song, and they would do, look, I'm not musical, you guys, so you got to bear with me. Let me go to my shows again. I'll show you guys. They might do the chorus nonstop, right? So let's see. Good Father. So this song has a verse 1, a verse 2, a chorus. So I got, you're a good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. If one worship leader might do that chorus twice, right? Another one may do it once. And that's when you do a new layout. And I would just name it by the name of that worship leader, right? That's kind of my approach to it. Name it by the worship leader name so it's easy for your volunteers to know what's going on, or you are the volunteer, easy for you to know what's going on. But you can use that a number of different ways. Those layouts are crazy cool because you can have a number of them and it's still the same show, and you just can pick the one that you need for that particular week. This can come in handy for even like slide, like intro loops, like I just kind of did with that one, with that begin shortly thing. Like that's a really cool idea to kind of play with it and say, hey, this is our opening loop, and you might have for different services. So you might say for our 9 a.m. service, this is our opening loop. For our 10 a.m. service, this is our opening loop. But they all are under the same show called opening loop, and you just pick a different version to play. Very cool. A different layout. Sorry. Let's see here. Let me know if you got questions about that. Try be Armand 3082. And let's see here. M. Smith, our friend Mark says, I use the remote all the time. Good to see it is smooth. Yes, it is really smooth. I like I said, I've used it and I played with it. I should say I didn't use it. I just played with it and I didn't like the experience. This was months ago though. This was like last summer. So a year ago almost maybe. And it just wasn't smooth enough to make sense. All right. Labada Geek One says, appreciate you. And I'm in New Jersey. Been following you for a while. Never got to watch the live stream. Hey, glad you got to join us this time, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Awesome. Great questions. Great questions. All right. So let's see here. I've changed some things around. Let me see what time it is. Oh, here we go. It's 12:05. Okay. We got some time. Let me go back into, I think we had some more questions in the community that I didn't get to address yet. Let's see here. We talked about animating. Transition with the between option is going to be the simplest animation, but you can do the toggle timeline from the edit page and do some what are they called? Keyframes, the keyframe editing, right? Let's see here. Kenny Cruz 8916 says, I have a question. First, thank you for your videos. We just started to use FreeShow for our church. And my question is, how do you reuse lyrics for songs that you downloaded and edited for different projects? All right. So this question is unique. So I'm just going to say answered on, I don't know where I was typing. On FreeShow Friday. Let's see here. And I'll say, what's today? This is 5/15/26 at about the 1 hour and I've been recording for about 13 minutes. So I'm gonna say, oh man, you guys, I don't know, because I stopped my stream. And this says 110. I don't know. Let's see. We'll say about the 115 mark. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. And so the question was related to the building and mastering shows. Okay. So I made a video about building and mastering shows in FreeShow. And they just started using it. And how do you reuse lyrics for songs that you downloaded and edited for different projects? You download it and edit it for different projects. I'll be honest, I don't quite understand the question in detail. And this is from Kenny Cruz 8916. So Kenny Cruz, give me some feedback on what you mean specifically. I'm gonna do my best, and you guys give me some feedback too of what you think that means. But to me, it represents two things. The first thing that came to mind was you need to use your shows library. Down here at the bottom, there's a shows library, and this is where all your shows live, right? So I got some FreeShow Friday shows. I got some in the lab shows. I've got scripture shows, and I can drag these into any project I want to. So I can hit this little plus sign and say new project. I'm gonna call this one, where's this in? This is in 2026. And I think it's in my April folder because I didn't do anything else, but I'm gonna say 517 and I'm gonna just call this one training test. Hit enter. I can bring in my Joshua in. That show is there now, so I can select that and you'll see that that show shows up. And that's an old show. I made that show, I guess on May 7th. I can go back even further and pull in John 3:1-36. And this is an old show that I edited a while back. Okay. Same way for any songs. I can go to my songs category. I would advise you guys strongly keep your shows organized, right? I got a bunch of categories, but they're organized to some degree. But keep them organized so you can easily find stuff, and you can always do a search for it when you have it organized, right? So you can go into the proper category and then find that song. So this is gratitude. I can bring that into my project. And now I've got gratitude here, and it's a song that's been edited and ready to rock and roll. And if I wanted to, I could even record, like pre-record by turning on the timeline here, and I can pre-record the strokes, and I've got some there and it's ready to go. Okay, so I can just hit play when it's time and it'll automatically play based on these strokes. I'm sure I did these in training because this is not the full song. So I can just as easily delete them. Okay, so that would be my first thought, is organizing the content in your show's library down at the bottom, and you can drag those into any project. Let me see what else came to mind. We just started using, my question, how do you reuse lyrics? So that's how I reuse them. You pull them from the library and put them into any service you're doing. You don't have to keep making the same song week after week. Just drag it back in. And it says that you downloaded it and edited it for different projects. Yeah. So I think that's the only way I look at it. You guys can give me some feedback on that one. If you got another idea. Let's see here. Anonymous Dude 07 says, hi, I'm new to FreeShow. I have one doubt. It is possible to separate tabs and use it in multiple screens. Absolutely. I'm guessing you're saying, is it possible? So this program is designed just for that. I say designed just. The way I think about it is, if you can do it in ProPresenter, for example, we're gonna be seeing a lot more people coming in from ProPresenter as this program continues to pick up some. It's like a snowball effect. I know for me, I talk to more and more people every day that use ProPresenter, and they really appreciate what FreeShow can do. And their version they're using is actually called A Play Pro, but it's the same. It's on the same backbone of FreeShow, and it's just a partnership with another company called Amazing Life, which is really cool. So they have a lot of customers that use ProPresenter, and now they're transitioning them to their version of FreeShow, which is A Play Pro. In our case, it's just like FreeShow with a few tweaks on the front end of the theme color and all that kind of stuff that's kind of preset for them. Okay. But all that to say that they are amazed that FreeShow can do everything that ProPresenter can do. With that being said, you can definitely have multiple outputs. You can have 2, 3, 4, 5, however many outputs you want to, and you can run those in the program simultaneously. Like I've got here, I got 2 separate outputs right now going on. I can right click on this and edit it, and I can turn it off. Right. But the cool thing is different than ProPresenter is that when you turn on your outputs in this program, they actually show up all together. So I can turn on a stage output as well. So I'll turn on my stage output, and you'll see now I have a stage layout that's showing up here along with my primary and my loop. And so the way this could work is my primary could be going to the front of house. My loop could be happening out in the lobby. And then my stage could be happening in the back, kind of facing the stage, but in the back of the auditorium or the back of the fellowship hall, facing the stage for those who are on stage to be able to see the lyrics. Okay, so absolutely anonymous dude 007. I was gonna say anonymous dude 007. You might have a cool name, a cooler name there, anonymous 007 dude. But yeah, that would be yes, for sure. You can do possible to separate, when you say separate tabs and use it in multiple screens. Let me know what you mean, because I'm talking about multi-screen output, and I'm guessing that's what you're talking about, but let's verify that. So tell me if that's exactly what you mean, multiple screen outputs from the same computer or the same program, FreeShow, running at the same time with different things. Okay. As you think about that and give me some feedback, don't leave me hanging, anonymous. Let me know. We had another question here. This is Valoc 736 says, right now, there are 2 of us, and they're responding to the Cloud Sync video. They said there's 2 of us, me and my brother, both logged into B1 with our own accounts. All right. So if you guys don't know, with FreeShow, you can actually do a Cloud Sync account that allows you to work on one computer and then wirelessly sync it to another computer in another city. It could be in another building, wherever. As long as they both can connect to the internet at any given point, you can Cloud Sync your content in terms of your shows, your settings can all sync up with another computer. All right. Let's see here. Labada Geek 1 says, what adapter are you using to have multiple outputs from your computer? It's a great question, my friend. Let me see if I can show this to you guys in a way that makes sense. I'm gonna do it from FreeShow, and let's do media. Let's go to cameras, and I'll use my iPhone camera through the continuity camera. It's really good. So we'll turn that on. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I can just keep that off. All right, so there we go. So now Let's do this and this. All right. So this is my laptop. And you guys can see that. That's me working on, I got my iPad over here running Companion with a makeshift version of what I'm gonna do to make it work with this, the Rodecaster video. And so I'm recording on that and it records ISO recordings. And you know what, you guys? I hope I got the ISO recording on. Oh, let me see something. I'm gonna show you the device. I'm gonna show it to you just a second, my friend. I'm sorry. Let me see here. Please tell me I got ISO recording on. Stream device configuration. Okay, yeah, I got ISO recording now. I'm sorry. I just had to, I almost blanked out for a second there. Let's go back here. Okay. And so, let's go back here. Okay. So you guys can see my screen. Yeah, that's it. So I'm using the Orion split extend. It's upside down. And I think I just broke FreeShow. And so the funny thing is, or the cool thing is, I'm using the beta. So FreeShow just quit on me, but let me turn it back on. The live stream is still going on live. And let's see here. Let's go to, we don't need that either. Let me go back to me so you guys can see me. Turn off that one. Turn that off. But it's called the Orion Split Extend, and there's actually a video about it. So let me show you the video about it too. Let me pull this back up where it belongs. Let you guys see that. Let's see. The dashboard. This one. I don't need that, but I do need this one. Okay. So in here on the right, look on my right screen here, you'll be able to see what that device is. Let's see here. Oh, I don't even know what it's called. It'll be in my playlist though. And it's under, it should be under my outputs playlist. Media and output tutorials. Let me see. I'm gonna mute that. I believe it is. Let's see. I'm just scrolling down. Okay, maybe it's under tips and tricks. We got to find it though. But I'm using the Orion split extend device. Let's go back here. And I don't know what I called that video. That's the issue. Oh, there it is. Okay. Expand your computer displays for more outputs in FreeShow. Crazy name. I probably should do something different about that. But it's called the Split Extender, the Orion Split Extender. And I talked through how to set it up in this video, but it allows you to basically use that one device that I was showing you guys, and it allows you to have 4 additional outputs from your computer, which I love. And I found it for under $100. And so I would say definitely check it out. It should be in the descriptions below, a link to it. It's an affiliate link. So if you want to support the channel, that's one way you can do it, is use that link to make a purchase. It'll give me a kickback, but it doesn't change the price for you at all in terms of making it more expensive or less expensive. But the cool thing about it is that it's very affordable. I found it on Amazon. So if you're in the US, I know you can use Amazon, but you should be able to find it on their website as well. But I found it on their website. It's a little bit more expensive if I remember correctly. At least when I bought this, it's been almost a year ago, like 9 months ago. I think I bought this back in August or September. And it does change the game because I actually run like 3 outputs from my computer to that, and I just send them directly into my Rodecaster as the output. And so that's the way that I'm able to do. So I have screen 1 here is just a camera that's connected to the Rodecaster. Then screen 2 is actually my left camera over here. And then screen 3 is, or button 3 is the screen on my right. And then button 4 takes me to my output for my laptop that I'm using to stream with you guys using FreeShow. I mean, not FreeShow, using OBS. Okay. Let me see which one was I on. This one. All right. And so, yeah, the Orion Split Extender, and it works on Mac and Windows. He said, "Yeah, Mac is not your friend with multiple outputs. You are so right, so right." Okay, all right. Sorry, I got distracted. We were talking about that question, so we're going to come back to that question. Hey, Gary, you should have another channel to show how to use B1 Church. Just an idea, man. That is a whole nother thing because I don't know how to use B1 Church, but I was thinking about that because I might start using it for my own ministry. And then I would have to learn it. So I would probably jump in and do it that way for sure. For sure. And then Labada Geek 1 says, thank you. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's go back to that question that came in. I got to get back to it though. Let me see. Let's come back to me and get that back up. Let's see. Because I don't remember the details of it, but it was a really good question. It was about B1 Church. And all right. So here's what we got. Their question was, right now we use the Cloud Sync. They both have an account. So both logged into their B1 account. They added, he says, I added him to B1 Teams and set up synchronization in FreeShow, which merges the data. Okay. Me and my brother both logged into B1 with our own accounts. And the caveat here is my guess, to merge, you have to be on the same team. Okay. So you got to be on the same team. And then they said, I'll look at it from here, which merges the data. So I added him to the B1 Teams and set up synchronization in FreeShow, which merges the data. If I want the media to sync as well, I need to connect Google Drive. So here's my question. Do we need to have one account in Google Drive, or is it possible for each of us to have our own account, but for both of us to have access to the media? And so what I would say to this, he says, because, for example, if we need to add other people later, I don't want to give them access to a single Google account. I hope I explained my question understandable. Okay, so what I would say is the main thing for this thing to work properly is you do want to have I would say the same, but you need to have some type of Google Drive, okay, if you're going to use Google Drive. And with Google Drive, you can actually share between separate accounts, and I believe it will work. I've never tested this out, but let's walk through this together. In the event that you have Google Drive for you, let's say I got my Google account Drive 1, and then there's another Google account Drive 2. In those Google Drive accounts, you can have a folder that you share together. Does that make sense? So just invite each other to that folder and put all your media in there and then point to that particular folder. And you won't have to give anybody special access to a Google Drive account. You would give them access to a Google Drive folder that's on your account. Aha. And then they said one more question. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense to you guys on the comments. Let me say answered. I'm going to say reply here. Answer live on FreeShow Friday. I hate that my time is all mixed up because I had to restart my stream to change my I had to change my resolution because it was telling me that my resolution was poor, and I don't like that, right? I don't want to give you guys a bad experience. Now it says it's excellent, but I had to stop it right in the middle. So that's the issue. So I don't know my times. I'll have to say, I don't know my time, how long I've been streaming. Yeah, I can't tell. I'm looking on YouTube now to see if there's anything that shows. Oh, here we go. 1 minute, 30 seconds, or 1 hour and 30. Oh, perfect. Okay. So answer live on FreeShow Friday. In about the 1 hour, I'll say 28 mark. Okay. And so the next one, they said one more question. If I open a program or the Bible and select a slide or verse, it immediately appears on the projector. How can I prevent this so that a preview appears first, and then when I'm ready, click send to projector and it appears like in Quilla or OpenLP, for example? Yep. So I know about OpenLP. I've never used Quilla, but let's talk about that, because ultimately what they're saying is they want to basically, like in OpenLP, I remember they had like I think it was just called program, or service. I think it was called service, if I remember correctly. Somebody tell me if I'm right in the chat. But ultimately, that would be your show or your project. I'm sorry, it would be your project. And I thought I made a project here called test, but I don't think it saved it. Yeah, I don't even think it saved my last project because it crashed on me. Or maybe it's in April. Let me see. Yeah, no, it's not in April. Let's see here. William, we got a super chat. Let's see here. This is from our friend William. It doesn't show me the full name. Let me see if I can see your full name. I remember meeting with you though, my friend. William May Century 21 in the house. Says, hi Gary, I don't know if you can answer this question, but I have a Stream Deck and I want to link it to my folder. I want to link it to my folder where I have PDF files in. You want to link your Stream Deck. Okay, and it says Dropbox for scripts, and where I have files in Dropbox for scripts, and maybe use the dials to screw through the scripts. Is this possible? That's a good question, William. We have to talk about that. We have to talk about that. Yeah, let me think about that. But let me think about this answer to them about the idea of their scriptures showing up and organizing them. The project is going to be the best route to take. It says I need to turn that off. Okay, so it comes back. Okay, so when you're doing your verses in the scripture settings, there's this option here that allows you to select a verse and you can preview it down here when you select it. Just click on it, right? But when you do that search, let me do a search. Let's do Matthew 6:33. When I hit enter, it automatically pops up. Okay. What I would say is change the settings. Yeah, you guys can see me. I'm tripping. Yeah, change the settings over here on the right next to your search. In your search, change that to say, hey, you know what? When I hit enter, I want to add it to the project and it'll make a project. Okay. And then you'll have it to where you can preview it and you can select the ones you want from your project. All right. And so that would be the solution for that. And then you can also just right click on any verse you want to and convert it to a show. And it'll do the same thing. I don't know what this is. Route.bible. Anybody use this before? Open route.bible? Don't know what that is. I'm not even going to click it right now because I don't know what it's going to do. All right. But yes, so that would answer that question for our friend here, Valoc736, for sure. So it won't automatically show up on the screen. And then William May Century 21 says, also, I'll probably order another one-on-one at the beginning of next week. You really helped me out. Thank you. So yeah, me and William May Century 21 had a conversation or a one-on-one consultation to help him get situated with OBS. And he's got some cool camera setups and all this kind of stuff. So we had a good conversation there, but he's asking now about a Stream Deck and he wants to link it to a folder where he has PDF files in Dropbox for scripts. And he may, and maybe use the dials to scroll through the scripts. Is this possible? You know, I would dare to say that it is possible, but with this being a free show channel, I'm going to stick to free show content, right? So what I would say is consider using free show for your script. That's what I would do. I would use free show for your script. I've done that for some teleprompters, like basically like as a teleprompter. That's what I would recommend doing. And then you can just use BitFocus to make that Stream Deck point to certain parts of that script, or certain, just go through your slides that you've already made the script for. So I would just go into free show and bring in the script as a show. And I don't think, let me see if I did something for teleprompter here. I think I made a teleprompt. Let's go to all. Teleprompter test, teleprompter slides. Okay. This is a teleprompter test. Fix some text inputs not working. Okay, so I copy some content. Okay. And so what I would say to consider, depending on how you're going to do the flow of your show, right, is ask yourself this. do I want all the text to show up and I'm always just reading the text and I want it to just scroll up, right? So if you want it to just always show up and always scroll up, we're going to look and see how to do that real quick. So I'm going to go here to church apps. I'm going to bring in this content here and we'll copy all this. All right. So copy. I want to be able to read all this in a teleprompter field. Okay. And so, but yeah, so that's, you said, I didn't even know that was considered a possibility. So this is about free show. This is what we're here for. So we're going to do free show, right? So I'm going to look at it from here and I'm going to go to my shows and I'm going to select new show. And we're going to call this one, William Teleprompter. If I can spell it right with a capital T, here we go. There we go. Teleprompter test. All right. And then you can put it whatever category you want. So you might have a whole category just called scripts or whatever your shows are that you're going to do live streaming with and all that kind of stuff, right? Maybe it's just Bible verses. I mean, it could be that simple. You can just do a bunch of Bible verses as well. But I'm going to do it this way. We'll say training test and I'll just say, okay. And then I'm going to say quick lyrics. So quick lyrics allows me to paste this content in. So if you got it in PDFs, I would just go into PDF, copy that stuff out and then do a Command V to paste it in. And I've got it here now, and I'm gonna just make it to where it's a little bit more spaced out. You can put, whatever text you want to in here. And I'm just gonna say, I don't want it to be 2 slides per. I'm gonna make it be 0. I want it all to be kind of broken out in this way. So when you put a double space in here, it puts it all onto a separate slide when you break it out. But I'm gonna just try to keep this all in one slide. So I'm gonna say here, and there we go. We got everything on one slide now. But when I hit enter twice, it'll make it to where it's going to show up on separate slides, which is really handy. I definitely recommend doing that for most things. But in a teleprompter situation, it's not necessary. So I got this all on one particular slide. Now I just go in to edit that slide. Now, this is super, super busy, but it's all centered up, which is great. I need to make this whole thing be as big as that whole piece that I need. So I'm going to drag this up. This is where it gets difficult because you got to make this fit. So you got to make that shrink down and you got to bring this stuff down to make sure your top of your text is covered in the text box by just dragging it up. Boom. And then we're going to bring this down to here, right? So it'll show up and it'll start scrolling from here, let's say, right? And then I'm going to do an option that says text box and I'm going to make mine be grow to fit. Make it as big as it can be. And then we'll say align. We'll keep it at center. That's fine. And that's fine. That's fine. All right. Here's where the magic happens. The free show magic, right? This is the super setup. You go to toggle timeline, right? We talked about those keyframes. So this is an example of us using what some people might call like some slide animation. I just call it the teleprompter effect, but you can call it whatever you want to, right? And so the way it works is I'm going to go in and I'm going to change the position of this text box. So I'm going to say, okay, I want this item to be where it is right now. And this is the position, right? So it's at this x-axis and x-axis goes back and forth left and right. The y-axis though moves it up and down. So if I go here and I select this particular one, you watch the y-axis, see how it moves up and down, right? So I'm going to make it be here and I'm just going to click this keyframe. Boom. And it put a note right there. I put a marker for me to say, okay, at this point, it's going to be here. But then I'm going to drag this all the way up. And well, actually, no, let me change it. Let me go back. And so, yeah, we want this to be right where it is, right there. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put in another keyframe. And now when let me pull it back down. I'm going to go right here and then I'll say keyframe again. Oh, it's giving me some hiccups on the beta, you guys. So I should say like that. And there we go. So now I got my second keyframe. My first one is here. And I can go to this one, which is here. And I can pull it up to where it's going to be higher. All right. And you just position it to be to the end. And I'm going to bring it all the way up. And this goes here. And it'll let you know it's all the way to the end because I'll just make it stop right there. All right. So you know there's nothing below here. And now we just simply go to it and hit play. And we should see it move. Let me stop it. But it ain't moving. Let's see what I got here. This is set there. And this one is set here for the x-axis, or for the y-axis, I'm sorry. So that position should have changed. Let me save it real quick. This could be a beta issue, but I think, I don't think I made a video about this yet, but I definitely have tested it out quite a bit because I've used it like in real life. But it might have been on a stable version. So that could be on me. So forgive me if it's not doing what I expect. I would not use the beta because the beta right now is jumping back to that first keyframe, but ultimately it'll just allow it to just scroll up at a certain pace. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see here. Well, I didn't even consider that is possible to show me how to connect FreeShow to a folder with your PDFs. So to connect FreeShow to your folder with the PDFs, just go to your media and just select add folder. That's what I would do. I would just select add folder from there. Now, the feature I was talking about was actually bringing the text from the PDF into there. That would be the first thing. So William May Century says, I cold call a lot, so sometimes I need to pull up my scripts quickly. Oh, so in that case, yeah, I would just pull them up as a part of the shows. That's just me. Like I said, everything I'm talking about today is going to be, everything I do on this channel is going to be related to FreeShow. So I'll find a way to point it back. But that would be a quick way to do it. And then you can just do a quick search for it or just have them all in an actual project. I would just make a whole project that just has all your shows, all your PDFs lined up in it. So I got this simple project here. It's got I'm in the Bible there and Luke 7:110. And you can just make a list of them. So I'll clear this out. That's just some recommended stuff, but just make a list of all the ones, different scripts you got and put it in there. If you just need to read them, okay? If you just need to read the script, then yeah, this is a really cool way to do it. Thank you so much for this train. This training is a game changer. William May says, I'm using one monitor. So one monitor, I'm thinking I'll have FreeShow with the scripts where I can scroll through and did the other monitor with my CR. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think if I remember right, William, you got that large, that supersized monitor, so you can have basically two windows open at the same time, side by side. After you customize those positions with the script, can you link it to your Stream Deck? Can you link it to your Stream Deck? You should be able to link it by, yes and no. I'm trying to think about the best way to link it. It would probably be by making buttons to point to that particular show. Yes. So yes, you can definitely do that. And that's just something that is a part of, let me see here. I got my big focus here. Let me see what it would look like. So I'll show you guys my screen. And so actually I'm going to do a different setup. Let's see. I got a setup for this. Let me see. Is it this one? Nope. This one? Nope. Let me turn it off. Hold on. I got a different layout. Turn it off. Here we go. Boom, pow, and clear this out. All right. And so this is my desktop, or my Mac, I should say. And you guys should be able to see my screen. Okay, let me see here. And make sure I'm showing it right. Okay, yeah. You guys can see all that. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here. So this is BitFocus Companion. And this is gonna basically show you the modules that you'll have that you should have access to in the Stream Deck as well. So for FreeShow, right? So let's say I wanted to make a row of shows here. So you can call this one, I'm gonna say create button. I'm gonna call this script 1 and we'll make it auto size. That's fine. Create another button. We'll call this script 2, right? You give me ideas for what I do as well. I might do the same thing. And so for script 1, we're gonna make this point to an action. So you go to your press actions down here and you would go to FreeShow. So I'm gonna go to an option that just says show. And it says select show by name. So you would just select the show by name. And I'm going to go to a show that I have here. Let me go to my shows in FreeShow. And we'll do one of the songs. We'll do Waymaker. Let's type in the name, Waymaker. All right. So script 1 is going to be Waymaker for now. All right. And now when I go and press that button, let me go to my right screen. And I'm going to select script 1. What it'll do is it takes you into Waymaker. So you would have a button on your Stream Deck that would take you to Waymaker, right? And then we would do the same thing. So if I go back and go to here, let's go here. I'll keep going and putting on my whatchamacallit. I'm getting used to this thing, y'all. Let me bear with me. All right, so if I go back here and go into Script 2, I can make it do the same idea, and I'm gonna just hit press actions, and it'll automatically give you a preview of the recently used, and I'm gonna just pick another song. And this will be like the second script, and I'll just make this one be I Thank God. I wonder if it'll do it even though it's different lowercase and uppercase. We'll see. All right, so I got that done, and now I can go back. We'll see what it does when I select script 2. Yep, it takes you right into I Thank God. Okay, and so it automatically adjusts and updates for you. And so yes, you can definitely adjust all that content there, and I would recommend doing that for sure, for sure. If you customize scripts, can you link them to your Stream Deck? Yep. That sounds good. I'll put all my scripts in a project. Okay. Or is it just faster just staying in FreeShow? Well, FreeShow is you would make a project in FreeShow for sure. So you can make your project in FreeShow that has all your scripts. And then when you select the button for that particular show that's in the project. So shows live in projects and projects live in folders. And if you go the other way around, your folders will hold multiple folders or projects, and inside of a project is going to be a list of a number of as many shows as you want to. Okay. You can even put subsections and headers and all that kind of stuff in there as well. All right. And that would be the way I would recommend it. Like I said, that gave me an idea. I'm probably going to be doing something very similar for what I'm going to be doing for work related stuff. That is, I like that. I'm going to have to talk to my team about that one. You gave us an idea, William May, Century 21. I like that. I like that. All right, let's see here. Any other questions coming in? Let's see. So Gwirlin MJ, the last one I saw, let's see. Yeah, Mac is in friend with your friend with multiple outputs. Yeah, for sure. And for that that O'Reilly split extender device, all it needs is a USB connection. Okay. It could be regular USB or USB-C, and it'll work. And I'll tell you all it needs. It also has a driver that you download. So you want to install that driver and check out the video that I made for it. Like I said, it'll support 4 outputs or 4 HDMI. I guess you can call them inputs, but it sends them out, right? So I guess they're outputs, whatever. 4 HDMI connections, and they can be a variation of any 2 4K and 2 HD. Okay. Right now, the Rodecaster video is accepting any one of those types of ports, and it's just making it fit into a 1080 timeline. Okay. So it'll automatically adjust on your switchers as well. It should automatically adjust. And yes, you're very welcome, William May, Century 21. And back to Gwirlin MJ's comment about I meant B1 Church. Yeah. For B1 Church, there's a lot of crazy cool stuff it can do. And the downside for me was it's a big learning curve because I just didn't grow up in big church. So I might make a channel that's just, I say big church in terms of a church that was really, I was never exposed to the back end of setting up church functions and things like that. I was always serving and teaching. I was serving in ministry and all that stuff, but I never got to see any administrative stuff when it came to church. Okay. So I'm in the dark on that kind of stuff, but B1 Church is all the back end stuff. And so for me to wrap my mind around how to set it up, I might do a video or a YouTube channel that's just dedicated to me learning how to use B1 Church and set up a ministry for the first time with no experience. It'll be probably more of a comedy than it would be teaching, but it would be my journey of understanding some things. If anybody would be interested in looking at that. So that's as good as I can get with that, Gwirlin. That's as good as I can get about it. Do I have a tutorial on how to set up BitFocus? Absolutely. Let me see. Where are we at? In here. If we go back to the channel and I'll select BitFocus. Let's do a search for BitFocus. And it's mostly, I just reference it as companion, but you'll see here, use BitFocus Companion with FreeShow and OBS. That's an option that you'll see here. How to customize the buttons in BitFocus. This is what we basically just did in a fast paced situation. I fast forwarded through a lot. So you want to check this one out to kind of customize your buttons. And then there's a whole playlist full of companion stuff. Here, let's see here, in the lab, making a video with transitions and sound effects. So yeah, you'll be able to see a lot of different things in that particular playlist, but there's a bunch of stuff with BitFocus that I've made for sure. Let's see here. Gwirlin says, I need someone to guide me on how to set up B1 Church. Now, Gwirlin, are you talking about just for for free show, or are you talking about for your church as a full church set up with members and all that kind of stuff? Let me know. Let me see here. I'm gonna try to log in. I forgot my login and everything, y'all. Admin.b1church.church. Oh, it said welcome. Hey, I'm in there. Perfect. All right. So this is B1 Church. For those who don't know what Gwendolyn is talking about, yeah, for the church. Okay. And so the idea with this is so it says click any card below to get started. You always find these in the menu later, but it says you can add your church logo. You can create your first website. And it says build a public website where visitors can learn about you. This is crazy. This is all a part of the whole church apps B1 thing. Set up online giving. You can set up free show backups. Okay. That's something that we've set up here. Set up your free play classroom. Free Play is a really cool setup as well. Allows you to stream from Apple TV or other devices to a TV, like different curriculum and lessons and things like that. You can even upload your sermons to here. And I believe that's linked in with YouTube. And then people in groups, you can add your congregation. So this is where you would add in people and track their attendance and all that good stuff. You can create your first group, invite team members. And that's hard. Like I said, this is hard because this will really just be a one-on-one thing, because I don't know if I can't put people's information out there publicly and talk about it. So I got to figure out how to record something like that. So we'll see. I would have to do a dummy account and do it, but I really want to do it for real. I want to do it in real life for real ministry. So all this stuff is over here as well, but they also have like the mobile site. You can add in different things, which is crazy. The people, this is where you can add in different people. This is where I did some testing of some stuff here. Serving. I made a couple of serving teams. You can do different plans. Donations, like I said, I've not played with it at all. And then you can run a report, but this is where I get like, it's like, okay, what do I do to set this up? Funds, giving statements. You'd have to tie this in from somewhere. And that's where I get lost. I'm like, where do I tie this into and from? So maybe we set up a meeting with somebody to give us all some tutorials on how to do all this stuff, because I think it's really cool too. It looks like a whole setup for a team, not for one person. I agree. It's going to take a lot of teams to work together to use it, because they'll have different roles they play in there, right? You're going to have somebody that's over the finances and somebody over the attendance and over the different ministry groups and all that stuff. But you can do a lot of cool stuff with communication with it, because you can set up your members and then you can send out communication to them of what their responsibilities are. So it's basically like Planning Center, but for free is the way I like to describe it. Not with any in-depth understanding of it, but at a glance, that's what I would call it, is the most closely related rival or competitor to it. So if you've used Planning Center, however you use that in terms of how many teams you use would probably be a representation or a good representation of what to expect when it comes to using B1 Church, right? So like I said, I'm not use it at all. So I wouldn't be the best person to talk to about it just yet. But, working on figuring out a way to do that it's on my list, but it's not high up on the priorities. Like I said, I'm working on doing some other things with Free Show right now, to where I want to level up and upgrade the idea of what Free Show is in people's minds, especially those coming from ProPresenter, because I think there's a lot of assumptions made, and this is just a personal thing, a lot of assumptions made about ProPresenter versus every other program. And you can see videos. I think one of the biggest videos is ProPresenter's Dead, Long Live Free Show, or something like that. I think that's the first video I saw about Free Show. And I was like, what is this program? But this guy was talking about it, and Free Show was in I say infancy, but it was younger. It was newer. And I say newer, like it was like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years. I don't know how long ago that he made that video. But a lot has changed about Free Show since then, to where there's not a very clear definitive line to draw between Free Show and ProPresenter in terms of functionality, reliability, and use case. Because if you're using it in ministry, the question I have to ask is, why are you paying for a program that can do the same thing for free? That you can get a different program to do the same thing for free. And that's definitely a preference. I'm not opposed to paying for a program, as long as it's worth your while. But if I could get, like, this is why I switched to DaVinci Resolve, to be honest with you, is that I was using Premiere Pro, and I was paying monthly for it. And then what ended up happening was I ran across DaVinci Resolve, and I saw some videos about it, and I started researching it, and I just downloaded it, because you can download DaVinci Resolve video editor for free. And it allowed me to play with it and use it. And I actually edited videos on the free version for a while just to get used to it. And I just stopped using Premiere Pro and I just said, let me see if I can do everything I want to do. And I was able to do pretty much everything I want to do with the free version. The paid version was a one-time fee of like $300 or something like that. And I actually upgraded because the free experience was so good. It was so reliable, so stable. It was just so much better than what I was running into with Premiere. And so that's why I switched to DaVinci Resolve. I believe it's going to be the same way with those who are using ProPresenter or any other paid program. I do these workshops and go to these different places. I'll be going to Virginia at the end of the month in May. So anybody that lives in Virginia, let me know. Or I don't know how close Jersey is to Virginia, but you guys, if you guys want to come, check it out. It's the Worship and Technology, I think is what it's called. Look, let me see. I think it's the same conference. Let's see, worship. I guess I should put in this plug real quick so you guys can know. It was really cool to catch up with Larry in Kentucky, but we're going to be in Virginia. So here it is here. I'll be at the Worship and Technology Conference. It's going to be at Liberty University, the School of Music in Lynchburg, Virginia, May 30th. All right. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can register. Let's see what it looks like to register. To register, it would look like this. Full conference package is $99. You can get a group discount. You also can get just a conference Saturday, or you can there's a masterclass on Friday as well, but you can bundle them together and save, or you can do the worship leader dinner for just $30, right? So check that out. Totally up to you. I don't get any money from them for whatever you decide to do, if you decide to do anything with it, but I will be there. They got the early bird. I don't know how long early bird has been going, but there's that. And then the event schedule. I think I am doing, I don't know. I should know this. I should know. I don't know exactly which sessions I do. I think I'm doing 1 and 3. Let me see here, or 2 and 3. Worship leader dinner. Let me see if they got the schedule available. There's that. I think they got an app that they did everything in. Okay, here we go. Session 1, leading, mixing, building, operating, social media, posture, unlocking open source. That's not me. This is actually Mike. He's going to be doing that. So I think I'm in session 2. So session 2 is at 11. And let's see here. Level up your church presentation software for free. I'll be doing that one. And let's see. I don't know if there's any more details as to, okay, here we go. Breakout 2 and 3. Perfect. So I'll be doing the breakout 2 and 3, and it'll be a fun time. So check it out. I'd love to have you. I'm gonna be releasing, hopefully in the near future, I'll try to release some of those. I did a workshop last year. I think it was in August or something like that, but it was a lot of fun. Let's see, we got a good comment here. Let's see here. A few good comments. Let's see. Looks like a whole setup. Yep. And then Gordon MJ says FreeShow is easier, faster, and is starting to have more interesting options than ProPresenter. Interesting. So Gwendolyn, you coming from ProPresenter, I remember, right? So have you completely switched over and using it full time, and or is there any mix? Are you still using ProPresenter in some places and not in others, or are you just using full FreeShow? Let me know. And then Sabusi So, wait a minute. Sabusi So Radibi 85. That sounds like a new name, but I know Sabusi So. But let me know if that's a new account that you own, my man. FreeShow is definitely easier to understand. That I have to give you 2 thumbs up. I'm on the same page, man. I think it's easier to understand because it's just in front of you. Everything is right there, and it just makes sense to do. I agree. Let me put a link to this program or this site for you guys to come in and check it out when you get time. So this is worshipandtechnology.net/Virginia. Let me see if I can paste that in here somewhere. I would love for you guys to jump in and join in. Talk with Larry Sweeting. Ask him how the session went. I like to have fun, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's hands-on. So jump in. I'm gonna plan to drive up there, I think, and so I'll have it'll be fun. We're gonna have a fun setup. We'll see. I got to figure out how I'm gonna do that, but it'll be fun. So says just using a different device. Okay, that's what I thought. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't remember no RadDB or whatever this says. I can't remember what it said. RadDB 85. So that's cool. I'm like, wait a minute. That's my friend. All right, cool. Roland says, not yet. Planning to. I'm leaning or learning the most possible now because I will have to train my team after that. And I think that's going to be interesting, Gorlin, because my question is, how big is your team, for one? And then the other question I have is, what is it that your team is responsible for? That's the questions you have to ask yourself when it comes to making a switch from anything. What is it that your team is responsible for, right? I've worked with some churches where they got the young people that manage the slides and things like that, and they don't even know that they're not using ProPresenter because all they're doing is clicking from one slide to the next. That's all they need to know, and that's all they do, and it works exactly like ProPresenter. And then there's other teams where there's an adult that's running it, and they just want to understand how to make some simple automations, right? And they can do that, and they just want to know where to find their files, how to make and organize their shows, and how to make sure it shows up on the right screen, and they're good to go. My question to you is, what are the main features that you need? And we need to discuss that. So, yeah, let's continue those conversations. I'm excited for you guys using it. Look, I got my double Gary going on. Sorry about that, but excited about the possibilities of using it. So plan to switch for some time next year. Oh man, that's a big length of time, Gordon. What else did you guys do? Planet wise, you just need to bring me on. Come on, I can do some training for your team. We can train your team and get you guys going in probably in less than a month. Or in terms of one session, I could probably do that. But you do need to know your system. So whatever your system is, make sure you know all that. So if you're using MIDI queues and all that stuff, make sure to have that stuff listed out. So it's a really big organization. I'm gonna say it's not an overhaul. It's just a shift. It's a transition from one tool or one system to another. The reality is nobody cares. I've lived in a number of different places and houses and lofts and apartments and rental homes. Well, yeah, kind of a townhome or something like that. And I've never asked what kind of hammer did they use to build this house? What kind of hammer did they use or drill did they use to put these walls up? I just know that there was walls there. I know that there was a door, windows, floor, carpet, all that stuff. FreeShow, ProPresenter, they're just tools. Nobody in the fellowship cares what tool you're using as long as they can see the lyrics, as long as they can see the scriptures, as long as they can hear the video and hear the audio and all that good stuff. That's what we got to make sure we keep at the base of what we're doing. And the foundation is our job, and our goal is to make sure that we are effective media people. And as a media person, like I said, our goal is to be invisible where people don't even know, right? Whatever hammers they use, they were good enough for me in the apartment that I'm living in. Whatever drills they use were good enough for the apartment that I'm living in. And that's all I care about as an end user, right? But for us, sometimes we can get caught up with the details and the functions. Like I said, I got to roadcast a video, and this is important, and I got to do. It's not that important. I just got to understand how to navigate and shift to say, okay, instead of doing everything on my computer with FreeShow, how do I do everything with this? So it actually should alleviate some type of pain point for me. And the biggest thing for this is it's going to record every input for me real time. Now, my ATEM switcher would do the same thing. The ATEM Mini that I had an ATEM Mini Pro ISO, but the only downside is it only had one output for me to use. This one has like 3 or 4 different outputs that I can use, and that's really important for me and helpful for me to keep up with everything. And so I needed to make that shift with that. And you guys have been patient with me today. Nobody's giving me any complaints, which you might have felt them, but you didn't say them, thank God. But I've had, issues and hiccups where I got double Garys on here and all that kind of stuff. But I made the shift. And then next time I do this with this device, it'll be that much easier. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Gordon says so true, so true. But yeah, man, I'm excited for you guys. Like I said, keep asking questions, but think about it as, how do I mirror exactly what I'm doing in ProPresenter? And what that means is 2 things. One, you've got to have some clarity of exactly what's going on in ProPresenter, which this is something that stood out to me too. Not to say this reflects on you, Gorl and MJ, but one thing that I've learned is that in talking with folks that use ProPresenter, they don't have a lot of insight on how the program works. They just know how to do what it does for their system and their ministry settings because that's what was passed down to them to do, or that's just what it's been set for them to do, and the person is still there. And it's not passed down. That's just what's set, and that's all they do, right? They may not understand why, they may not understand how, they just do it. What I'm here to say is there's more to it than that you can explore with FreeShow, because it's free. So you don't have to pay for the learning curve. You just learn it. Like you said, I think that's where you're at right now, Gwendolyn, is just getting through the learning curve to say, okay, let me get comfortable with this software. Let me get comfortable with these tools so that when it's time, I'm comfortable to be able to solve any problem that might come up, right? That's a big deal. We want to have that comfort, and the comfort doesn't need to come from doing the same thing. The comfort just needs to come from having confidence to say, if it does mess up, I know how to fix it. That's really what I told my wife, and she told me. We concluded this, I should say, about me. If you guys want to know a little bit more about me as I wrap up here, I know I'm on a soapbox right now, but one of the things I would encourage us to do as media team leaders, as people in ministry, people that serve the Lord, people in the kingdom of God, whether it's at work, in business, in ministry, whatever it is, we want to do it as unto the Lord. And one of the things that I think is important for us to do that with faith is we got to overcome fear. And to do that, we have to attack that learning curve. And to attack the learning curve just means go into it and make it short as possible. There's always going to be a curve, right? It's always going to be this uphill journey to get to understand something, but attack it so it can be a shorter amount of time. Okay. Make it a steep curve straight up, and then it automatically tapers off and it gets flattened out, or it goes down. And we're just saying, oh, this is super easy now. Okay. That's what I would say. So attack that learning curve, and be strategic the whole time, right? But attack that learning curve to where you say, okay, this is the basics of what I need to do, and I can jump into this system. And in your case, you can save your ministry some money. That's a big deal. And some time and energy, because now you can empower all of your volunteers to download this program and use it, and they can practice at home. That's a really cool thing about this. They can practice and play with it at home because it's completely free. You can cloud sync and make a whole team that's just called media training team. And you can have a cloud sync file they can use and make their shows. You can preview them and test them out, and they can run through it and all that good stuff. So lots of cool stuff with FreeShow. I'm excited. If you can't tell, I'm excited. And my stomach is growling, so I'm about to wrap up so I can go eat. So you guys probably can hear that. But keep me posted on any questions you might have. I think we answered every single question today, which I'm excited about. I would love to see you guys at the conference in Liberty. The Worship and Technology Conference in Virginia, in Lynchburg, Virginia. Feel free to check it out. May 29th through the 30th. We'll be doing a couple of sessions on the 30th. Not just me, but also Church Apps with Michael Bird and his team. They're going to be doing some overarching things about ministry and how to do it for free and all that good stuff. And they're going to dive into B1 Church. So that's going to be the place to go to learn about B1 Church even more. But yeah, I'm excited for you guys. Have a great rest of the day. And let me know if you have any other questions that come up. All right. Bless you guys. And let me see if I can do my sign off here. I got to go to another thing. Let me see. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Nope, it didn't work. But bless you guys. Have a great rest of the day. All right.